Home to sun, sea and sand, and now no fewer than 1 million of these. We get to the bottom of how they're keeping things green for a beach resort and its guests. Stay with us.
Now, you might have visited Siloso Beach Resort on Sentosa before, but did you know that its permanent residents include earthworms?
I didn't know that until today, but now I do. Yes, the resort has a wormery housing about, get this, 1 million earthworms. And they're not pets. Every month they chomp down a whopping 700 kilos of food waste from the hotel kitchen, and they turn it into half that amount of poo, which is mixed into soil as organic fertilizer to grow plants and vegetables. Now, the resulting veggies meet 20% of the resort's needs.
And now the worms have an automated care system. It keeps them happy by probing their habitat to ensure that it's moist enough and not too acidic. If there's a problem, the keepers of the worms are alerted by SMS. The resort worked with Ngee Ann Polytechnic on the prototype.
And we have with us tonight Carl Fisher, Manager of Corporate Social Responsibility at Siloso Beach Resort, and Dr. Alex See, Electrical Engineering Lecturer at Ngee Ann Polytechnic. Welcome, gentlemen.
Now, Carl, we would never have guessed that you're keeping 1 million earthworms at your resort. It must be a big secret to keep. Where did the idea come from?
Well, we're an eco-resort, so we're trying to minimize our environmental impacts. One of those is, of course, the food waste that we have. And so we're looking at how we can do this as naturally as possible. And we were considering earthworms because, one, the process is much, much faster than normal composting. And the end product, which is what I have here, these are the earthworm castings, which is the natural organic fertilizer that we get out of the end process. Is actually very good for the plants. It's a very, very high quality fertilizer, and our plants then can grow very healthy because of this.
Carl, 1 million earthworms.
Nearly, yes.
So they have to be taking up a lot of space, isn't it? How much space exactly?
All right. It's not just one big tray. You've seen from the pictures. It's a modular system, so it's a series of 92 trays. The whole area is about the size of a hotel room. It's not in a hotel room.
We're not going to ask you how you managed to figure that one out.
Or which hotel room? So
it's not
a suite.
A suite, maybe. Okay, so it's just a regular size hotel room.
Yes, it's actually out open air.
So. The size of a regular sized hotel. Okay.
All right, Dr. See, let's bring you in on the conversation here. This automated care system for the earthworms, it was the brainchild of students, of course, we understand. How did that happen?
The short answer is yes. Two of our electrical engineering students from Ngee Ann Polytechnic were given the opportunity to work on this project, and they have designed and developed these innovative solutions for Siloso Beach. So this is, of course, after consultation with the Siloso Beach Resort.
But why did they, sort of come up with the idea in the first place? I mean, they approached you or the other way around?
I was fortunate enough to visit Siloso Beach in contact with Carl. And Carl actually shared with us this problem that they had at the wormery. So with that idea in mind, I actually brought this back to Ngee Ann Polytechnic, where I had discussion with my students. So that was how the idea came about.
So could there potentially be some other applications for the system as well?
Sure. This system basically is an automated system. So what I see is that there's potential for this system to be applied into other areas, for example, in the areas of aquaculture. So what we need to do is really to adapt and use different types of measurement probes.
Carl, just to bring you in on this, I'm still very intrigued about the worms. Do the guests at the resort know that this is where their veggies are coming from?
Well, we hope they know. We do take a lot of effort to inform our guests that we have this, what we call this closed loop cycle, because there's actually no wastage in this process. What is the food waste ends up going through the earthworms. It's used to grow the plants. And then the end product is used in our cafe.
Right.
So this is actually a closed loop cycle. So we do inform our guests of this, And we even offer daily tours.
And what happens when you tell them that, you know, that the worm poo is directly contributing to their veggies? Do they go
What
like-
is the reaction?
What's their
No,
reaction?
no. Actually, it's actually very clean. Usually, the reaction when they walk into a wormery is they're surprised that there's no smell, because the composting process of the worms is actually very, very clean and happens very fast.
Now, apart from rearing earthworms for their poo, what other sustainable practices does Siloso Beach Resort have?
All right. One unique aspect of our resort is the way it was designed and constructed. It was actually done in a way to preserve the terrain. So there's a big difference, a 28-meter difference from the top to the bottom of the resort, and 200 of the original trees were preserved, and including that, a lot of the natural habitat for the biodiversity was left intact. In addition to that, we, of course, manage our energy and our water usage. We even are using a source of spring water for our pool and for some of our irrigation. And, of course, reducing of waste, like through this closed-loop cycle that we're doing with our earthworms.
So, Dr. C, this is really a wonderful example of students, you know, working towards, you know, real-world problems and solutions for those. Any other ways that the students are sort of working towards solving real-world problems?
I think for us, going beyond classroom teaching, we are constantly seeking partners, like, for example, industry partners. For example, a good example is Siloso Beach Resort. So we intend to expose our students to different problems that's faced by the industry, and we believe that it is an authentic platform, and bringing students so that they are able to utilize what they have learned in the classroom and they apply it to solve real-world challenges.
All right, thanks very much for those perspectives, guys. And I have one more question for you, actually, Carl. I'm curious about those worms as well. You say 1 million. How do you count that there are 1 million? You go by the tray, the weight?
We go by the weight and then multiply it by the tray.
So how many sort of worms make up, sort of like, you know, what's the weight of X number of worms? Sort of 300 worms per kilo? I don't know.
Oh no, rough. Okay. Well, roughly per tray, we know that.
Right.
Per tray, we know that each tray has approximately 8,000.
Okay.
So we go based on that.
And you say good morning to them every single day. All right. Thank you, gentlemen, for those perspectives. We've been speaking to Carl Fisher from Siloso Beach Resort and Dr. Alexi from Nanyang Polytechnic. Whole new perspective on salad.
Right, yeah. Moving on now, a new MRT